We wanted to know exactly how many times police have been in the zone for crime incidents since a federal ruling in a landmark case prohibited the criminalizing of unsheltered people living outdoors when there's no available shelter indoors. Hundreds are living in this concentrated area of downtown between 9th and 13th Avenues from Jefferson to Jackson Streets, where property owners are affected by crime they believe is very much underreported. Not far from the state capitol building is what you call a classic. A place to grab a sandwich during your lunch break, serving Phoenicians for decades. Not much has changed inside Old Station Sub Shop since Joseph and Deborah Fallaci opened doors in 1986. Yet so much surrounding this family business has.
I called the mayor's office, the same old story. What do you think we should do about this? Well, how do I know? I'm just a sandwich maker.
A sandwich maker working on the outskirts of the zone, what may be the heart of the homelessness crisis in Arizona.
Yeah, I can get you some water.
2 blocks away lives Joel Copeland and his wife, front and center to the Human Services campus.
Here's one cold for now, and here's one frozen for later.
A hub for the state's largest homeless shelter with various resources that have been strained for years. There are just as many people living on the outside than there are shelter beds inside. At last check, nearly 900 homeless people living on the streets.
I'd come in the morning, people would be sleeping at my front door. People would be sleeping at my pickup windows. People would be sleeping on my tables.
Back at Old Station, the Fallaci say crime has cost them hundreds of dollars a month spent on cleaning supplies.
We have to clean the properties, we pick up trash, we pick up water bottles, we pick up toiletries, then we have to pick up defecation, we have to bleach for the urination, so it's a lot.
Meanwhile, inside Gallery 119, Copeland's hidden gem, he's painted what he's witnessed living here.
Street fights, being under the shade of one single palm tree. Drugs and mental illness go right hand in hand, and there's all of that. And on any day, you'll see people doing all kinds of just crazy things. I mean, swinging around, screaming at people that aren't there, swinging at the sky, passing out in the street. It's a common thing.
Digging through Phoenix PD's crime data reveals police responded to 801 incidents in the zone's area since 2019. The most reports happened in 2020 with nearly 280. There was a 26% decline in 2021, but with 185 incidents so far this year, Phoenix PD's response to crime in the zone is on pace to surpass last year's total.
We've seen knifings, there's been shootings right down the block. We had some guy shot right across the street a while ago. I mean, it just gets to the point where the unconscionable, when that becomes normal, then something's got to be done.
Theft ranks at the top of crimes in the area with nearly 300 cases since 2019. Over the same time period, police responded to about 230 aggravated assaults and 130 drug offenses.
I mean, fentanyl is everywhere. I mean, you can find them lying on the sidewalk.
Robbery, rape, and burglary follow those crimes. Since 2019, police investigated 6 murders in the zone, but where are crimes happening exactly? 50% are reported on the streets or sidewalk. Phoenix PD responded to nearly a third of crimes at homeless shelters in the zone.
No, not everybody gonna tell on you out here.
JR, who's lived in the zone for 8 years, says crime is underreported. After a long wait for a housing voucher, he has his own apartment, but sees the homelessness crisis getting worse here.
People lost, walk around and talk to themselves. They don't know where to go. They don't got no help.
Calling it a third world country, I think, would be a disservice to third world countries in a way.
Elon Werman is a law professor at ASU who represents 15 plaintiffs, including the Fallacis and Copelands, in a lawsuit against the city. The claim says Phoenix neglected the homeless encampment and allowed it to become a public nuisance. Werman says the city is taking advantage of the ruling in the case of Martin v. Boise. A 2018 decision by the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Ninth Circuit held that cities cannot enforce anti-camping ordinances if there aren't enough homeless shelter beds.
But the city of Phoenix has used the Ninth Circuit decision, which again is very narrow, as an excuse to totally abdicate its responsibility for this crisis.
Werman says the ruling should not prevent the city from enforcing laws against drug use, disorderly conduct, and public urination or defecation.
14-14-10-4.
The Fallacis have stopped calling police. They're simply tired, yet they keep opening their doors.
That's very depressing. I'm very depressed. I get up every morning with a knot in my stomach. It's what I have to deal with.
Coming up in part 2 of our report at 10, what about the Phoenix Fire Department? How often have crews responded to the zone? I'll tell you how presence has increased. I'm Justin Lum for Fox 10 Investigates.